Okay, sorry, I had to cut short the previous video because I had some disturbance in the background, some people walking around and stuff like that. But anyways, so more or less, that was what I wanted to say in the first part. Of course, I have been quite happy with this bike, commuting it in the city, and in the beginning of when I got this, and during the running period, I often found myself in the fifth gear or in the sixth, and the speed range because of the rev limit. I should be close to 3,500 or 4,000. That was the rev where I would be without exceeding the 55 or 50 kilometer an hour speed limit. But that time I would observe a lot of vibration from the engine, or I don't know if it was the engine itself or something else, but I could feel a vibration on the foot peg on the right side. But there was a small, it's not really a modification, but that the solution to that was, I can show you this, let me focus. Yeah, so this, the silencer itself, it is fixed on to this part, and there was no packing in between. I've checked out some other motorbikes like, I mean, Unicorn and some Hero Honda something. I mean, I just to see how they do it. I checked out, and they all have this kind of a rubber packing or rubber washer in between here. So I think that was the reason why it was vibrating in the beginning, or that is why it was more like prominently felt. So what I did was I just opened this thing up, and I put this piece of rubber washer, and it is just $5. $5 is how much I got it from, how much I got it for. And then I sort of it dampens that vibration. And of course, I think with time, somehow that vibration has vanished. So it's close to 2 years, but I don't seem to notice it anymore. Initially, it was more felt while accelerating from between 3,500 and 3,600, 700 RPM. But now it just suddenly, I don't really, right now, think about it. I don't remember the last time I felt it. Or maybe it's just that, one gets used to it, that, okay, something like that would be observed, and I just don't notice it anymore. Okay, apart from that, what I like about this, okay, the riding position I already mentioned in the other video. I also like that the pillion seat it's like very comfortable and very spacey, while still being quite stylish. I mean, there are other motorbikes which also have nice seats, and there are also some motorbikes, for example the Duke, which I always find, or I feel that maybe the pillion is not very comfortable. But of course, I've not really I cannot speak for everyone, so that's just my observation. And I think the seats on this are quite comfortable, and also I have not felt the need to get any additional modification for the saddlebags or anything like that. So the long trips which I've done so far, I've just been carrying a backpack, sometimes two. And what I've done is, while I sit here, while I'm sitting on the rider's position, I just tie them up on the pillion seat, and I mean it's spacey enough for two backpacks, 65-liter backpacks, one on top of the other. And during the ride, sometimes they sort of settle between themselves, and I've always found that one sort of comes in the forward part, and the second just sits on the back. And overall, it's I don't really need to reposition and resecure them over and over again. It's like maybe once in 400, 500 kilometers is when I really needed to, okay, maybe now I should give them tighten them again or something like that. Otherwise, it's quite nice. And it could also have been because of my, inexperience with the knots. So it could also be that. So seat wise, I'm also very happy with this. About the engine, okay, it's 150cc. I mean, specifications everyone already knows. I'll just try to start it. Don't know how I'm going to do that with the phone in one hand, but okay, I'll try to hold it. So I press the clutch, kill switch is on, and so if you see the idling RPM should be, of course, measured close to, after you've ridden it maybe 1.5-2 kilometers, so that the engine has warmed up. So right now it says close to 1000, and when it is a little bit warmed up, the RPM really settles around 1300 or 1400, which is similar to what the manual specifies. A lot of people have a lot of likes and dislikes regarding the sound of the engine. So when I really started off with this motorbike, previously I was this is actually my first owned bike. So I was riding around a lot of 150, 180 cc's, 100 cc, 125 cc, 135 cc, but I did not really have a bike, so I could not, I don't want to compare it to anyone, but since I was riding most of these Hero motorbikes, or formerly Hero Honda, so the engine note which I was more used to was a totally different kind. And the first month on this bike, I was always like, my ears were sort of looking for that same sound which was from the Hero side. So initially it took me a while to get used to this, but now that I have, I do like the sound of the engine as well. And for a 150cc motorbike and the kind of rides that I do, I mean, I'm not a very aggressive, I'm more of a easygoing normal rider, but overall I think it is quite nice. It has been not so much time now, but with the other owners who I'm in touch with via some online biking forums, they also mentioned the same, that this is just something which you don't really have to think about. The engine is quite sturdy and robust, and that's where Suzuki is also. I mean, it's a Japanese motorbike maker, so you can expect quality, and for the price. Okay, when I speak about quality, I think I'll just switch off the engine because maybe it is also sort of interfering with the audio. So when I speak about the quality, I can also mention that a friend of mine has a Honda CB Shine. Okay, that's a different class of motorbike, 125cc. So it's not really comparable, so to speak. But when I say about quality, all these switches, these light switches, or the kill switch, or even this indicator, or just high-low beam, the horn, or the electric start, all these switches, I have noticed this friend of mine who got it at a similar time, maybe 2 months earlier than me, he got this bike, and I already noticed that the switches have a lot of play in that. And it's a Honda, again, a Japanese motorbike maker, but I think overall the build quality, this is some term which I did not understand before much, but then now slowly I understand this, that this is a better build quality motorbike. The switches, the lights, and overall the fiber on the body, or the body itself, it's quite nice, and there's no play in it. There's no squeaking sound. The spring, or what is that, the shock absorber, which you would normally, that is some sound which I was always used to, that it would flex, and the spring would, how do you say, flex? Yes. And but with this I don't have any of those sounds, and it's just like nice. The foot pegs, the gear, and everything. The brakes, okay, yeah, the brakes, they would say different things about brakes. I don't do much of this cornering, yeah. So not really sure how to comment about the brakes, but yes, I do find sometimes on roads which have just been washed with some rainwater or something, like just when there has been a rainfall, then in those times I'm a little careful with the braking. I don't use the disc so much, and I try to go slow. But otherwise, I've been in, I stay in Bangalore, so the traffic here is not really a piece of cake. And I've found myself in some difficult situations sometimes, but somehow, as soon as you put the brake, but of course, like, you have to be controlled in the braking. You cannot, like, put a sudden brake, because this does not have ABS. I think 150cc, none of the bikes have ABS except this Apache, which is also 180, I think. But anyway, so because it's no ABS, so you have to be careful when you apply the disc brakes. But anyways, I think I would say the braking is quite okay. Uh, I mean, of course, it's like a 150cc motorbike with disc and drum, so you cannot compare it to something like a superbike or anything. So for this price and what you get, and for a normal riding stance, riding way of riding, style of riding, yeah, I think it suits quite okay for me. Apart from that, yeah, that is more or less what I wanted to share. Uh, I could maybe do a third part of the video and maybe talk about some things which one should really keep a check on every time they ride. Most of these things are in the manual, so I'm not telling you something which is like, which I invented or something. These are just like normal motorcycling things which I think as a biker or as a owner, everyone would or should do. Yeah. And okay, so that was the end of this.